Back to my channel. My name is Michelle. This is Michelle Reads YA. Today I'm giving you my September 2021 wrap up. I read 23 books in September. Some were DNFs, but I still count them as like I read it, but I don't rate them. So I will tell you why I DNF'd it and we'll move on. But let's just get into it because I want this to be 1.5 billion years. The first book that I listened to was Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. I didn't like it. And I'm so sad. I loved You Should See Me in a Crown. I gave that 5 stars. It was amazing. And this was not. I ended up giving this 2 stars. Now, it has everything that I want. It has a female-female romance. It has friendship. It has like a short period of time that the actual story takes place. I believe it's over 3 days. And you know, it takes place in a cool setting at a music festival. However, I did not like the setting of a music festival. I feel like it was chaotic and kind of boring all at the same time. Make it make sense. I don't know. My main issue with this was miscommunication, like all the time. Like these 2 girls just meet and it's like insta love and then they like fight every chapter and I just didn't like it. Also, I believe the character's name is Olivia, and yep, she was the worst and never like redeems herself and just like continues to be the worst. So 2 stars. I'm so sad I didn't like this, and I'm gonna stop buying books, she says, and just listen to the audiobook first and then maybe buy it if I like it, she says, as she has 30 books to haul next week. Okay. Anyway, I'm so sad I didn't like this, and I read a lot of Goodreads reviews and a lot of people said like the same thing, that Olivia sucks and it sucked, and oh well. Okay. The next book that I read was Billy Summers by Stephen King. I love Stephen King. I have read like a mix of his old stuff and his new stuff, and I didn't not like this. I don't even remember what I gave it. I gave it 3 stars and that seems nice. So let's say it's 2.5 stars. And my review starts with, I'm always disappointed when I don't love a King novel, but this one really didn't do anything for me. And it's probably because it wasn't like paranormal or weird at all. It was graphic with some things. There is a rape that happens and it's super graphic, the aftermath at least, and it's like a words it's like a sniper's last job or whatever, and then he ends up like getting kind of caught, and I would skip it. It's long, it's not great. Yeah, I'm 2.5 stars. That's, yeah, I would think 3 stars was being nice because it's Stephen King, but no. The next book that I listened to is here, and that is All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. We read this for September for my book club, and I gave this 3 stars. And once again, okay, a couple things. I don't remember much about this. I sped through it. The audiobook is super fast. It's very good. But as context goes, I don't remember a lot about this. It was like trying to be, what's the book on? One of Us is Lying, but like not as good. It was like the Breakfast Club feel and stuff, but the twist at the end, I did not see coming because I am dumb, but it's pretty obvious, and a lot of people in my book club were like, duh, and I was like, oh, okay. But as far as like the motive and everything, not good. It was trying too hard, I think. Like I don't know. 3 stars. 3 stars because of the readability. 3 stars not because really it was good, but it was very readable. So yeah. Okay, the next book that I read was an ARC, and that's When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. I believe this comes out in 2022. I can tell you, let me tell you. Let me just go. Okay, January 4th, 2022. So it took me the whole book and reading reviews for me to figure out that it's a Mamma Mia retelling. because I'm dumb. It was great. So this centers around a girl who is Broadway obsessed, and I was Broadway obsessed in high school. My MySpace name was Broadway Bound. So like very into musical theater. So I clicked with this book right away. It was Mamma Mia retelling. She is like exclusively lives with her dad and doesn't know who her mom is, and like seeks out these 3 women who she thinks might be her mom and gets on like adventures, and she's just like, she's a lot, but I liked her a lot. And I ended up giving this 4 stars, and I highly recommend it. It is a very good YA contemporary, especially if you were a theater nerd or were a theater nerd or were Broadway bound. So, loved it. 4 stars. I'll probably end up buying it because it was so cute, and I love Emma Lord, so yeah. Okay, the next book that I read and DNF'd was After by Anna Todd. Now, picture it. 2014 probably. Michelle sitting on the couch reading a fan fiction called, I don't know what it was called. Was it called After? Probably. By Imaginator 1D. Yeah, so that was Anna Todd. I read After when it was on Wattpad, I think, like every week it came out. I followed her Instagram, whatever. So 2021, Michelle thought it would be a good idea to read it and see how it was. It's awful. It's god awful. It is so bad. The writing is bad, the context is bad, the fact that this is my King Harry Styles in fanfiction form as Hardin is so bad. My actual review says this, DNF 50% in. This is actually the second time I've read this technically because I read this when it was on Wattpad, and I will wait for her to update it weekly. I'm cringing at myself for ever liking this. The slut shaming and the cheating and the writing are just absolutely everything is awful. OMG. So, if you've been here before, I don't mind cheating in books, okay? However, bitch cheats on her boyfriend every chapter. Like, just break up with the dude. Just break up with him and be with Hardin. It was awful. It was awful. Please don't read it. And I'm pretty sure the last movie, hopefully it's the last movie, is in theaters, and I don't know how it keeps getting made, but whatever. I digress. That's it. DNF. Okay. The next book that I read was The Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimmons. Love this. I don't remember how many stars I gave it. I gave it 5 stars. Woo! My first 5-star of the month. Okay, I thought I liked it. Okay, so my review on Goodreads is my heart is happy after reading this. And I'm back for actual. I can't stop thinking about this book and how happy it made my little heart. This is about a trans boy who transfers schools and tries out for the boys soccer team. He starts a relationship with a boy from a very religious family, and normally I don't like to read about religion, but in this context I think it was very important. This reminded me a lot of Simon Versus, which is a win for me. It was actually compared to Simon, which is why I picked it up. Also, my friend Rye, I think, picked it up and gave it a good review as well. So, got it from my library. The audiobook is fantastic. It's just like a good book, and unfortunately it is quiet. But I really like books with trans characters, especially when they're like doing something big, like going out for the boys soccer team, and then there was a romance. And like I said, I don't like reading about religion normally, but this was like going against religion, which is why I liked it. Yeah. The next book that I read was The Distance Between Us by Casey West. I gave this 3 stars, and I did not rate it because I just thought it was fine. I read it fine, the audiobook was good, I had like a good time listening to it, but like didn't have a lot of depth. I can't remember the characters' names. If you ask me right now, I cannot tell you. But I thought it was cute, and honestly, that's enough for me. 3 stars is good for me. 3 stars is actually great for me. Let's be honest, I'm a little mean. So, 3 stars for Going the Distance. Also, it was like one of her older ones, and you could totally tell it was like, she basically had a flip phone, so Okay. The next book that I read was Goodbye Days by Jeff Zentner. I actually read this a couple of years ago when it came out. I think it came out in 2017 or 18. And I read it then and I DNF'd it. So I have been looking at Jeff Zentner's, like, all his books, and this one still has very high ratings and I couldn't figure out why. So I reread it. And I gave 3 stars, which in this case it probably should be 2 stars, but I just don't want to be mean. Anyway, I decided to give this a second chance, but probably should have kept it DNF. Which is true. I should have just, it wasn't worth, like, rereading. And the audiobook, like, I listen to the audiobook, I don't do anything. I just, like, color on my phone in a little color app and don't do anything but listen, and it still felt like it dragged on forever at 3 times speed. So, like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The next book that I read was The Boy Book by E. Lockhart. This is the second book in the Ruby Oliver series, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. This is probably, I'm reading the last one, but I can say with pretty much 100% certainty that this is my favorite one. 5 stars. Amazing. So it picks up right where the first one leaves off, and you get more in-depth, like, information about her ex-friends and her ex-boyfriend, and there is, like, new interests, and I really like that one. So okay. The next book that I read has been on my shelf forever, and that is The Revolution of Birdie Randolph by Brandy Colbert. This is actually an arc. I was supposed to read this God knows how many years ago, and I finally picked it up. I actually listened to it on audiobook. It was good. I did not love the ending. I think I gave this 3 stars. Hold on, let me guess. 3.5. Yes, I like this a lot, but didn't love the ending. So, this is heavy. It's not that big, but it packs a big punch, and there's just, like, a lot going on with family dynamics and relationships, and there's a lot. There's a twist at the end, and I kind of already figured it out. It's not, like, hard to figure out, I would guess, but I really like this one. I really like Brandy Colbert a lot, but it definitely isn't my favorite Brandy Colbert, but it's still good. The next book that I read was Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee, and I gave this 3 stars, which once again does not sound right. It sounds like it should be 2 or 2.5. My review is, there was nothing wrong with this, but it felt very surface level with a lot of gender issues, and I don't know if I'm okay with that. So I believe that the author is trans, and it has to do with a trans character, and, like, other trans issues, but it felt like it didn't dig deep enough, and I don't know if it's because it's a YA book or, like, they didn't want to get into all of that and wanted it to be about the romance, which is fine, but if you're going to put that much emphasis on, like, trans character, I don't know. It just felt not good. So I'm gonna change my rating to 2 stars right now. Right now, 2 stars. It doesn't have great reviews on Goodreads. So, yeah. I don't have much to say about it. I wish it was better. I was looking forward to it. Okay. The next book that I read is The Shape of Thunder by Jasmine Warga. This is a middle grade. I have read one other book by this author, My Heart and Other Black Holes, which I love and always recommend, and this was the first middle grade that I've read by this author. 3.5. It was a lot heavier than I was expecting, especially for a middle grade. Like, I felt like if you just up the characters' ages a little bit, it would have been a fine YA. It was heavy. And there is a time travel aspect in this book that I did not know about. I go into books blind, which is my issue. So I went into this book blind and was heavy and had a time traveling storyline, which I personally did not like. So 3.5 stars, because I mean, it was good, but like there was this, the time travel aspect was heavy and I didn't like it. Okay. The next book that I DNF'd was Elatsoe by Darcy Little Badger. We are reading this for book club for October and I gave it a good try. It has a lot to do with magic and apparently there's like fairies and stuff. I didn't even make it that far. I made it 30% in, 25. I made it 25% in. And listened to the audiobook and just felt lost the whole time and did not connect with the writing style at all. And my friends in book club was like, there's fairies. And I was like, wow, I totally missed that. I don't vibe with fairies. So completely missed that. It was a good try. I knew it probably wasn't going to be a book for me, and that's okay. Like, not every book club book can be for me. And that just, it wasn't, not for me. It was not for me. The next book that I read was A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. I really like this. I gave it 3 stars. My review says, this was cute, but I felt like it dragged so much for what was supposed to be a light and fun contemporary, and I still agree with that. It just felt like it was so draggy, like it could have been cut down 75 to 100 pages and the message still would have gotten across, so it just felt long for a contemporary, and I like long contemporaries, so. But 3 stars. I definitely recommend it, especially if you like Jenny Han. Yeah. The next book that I read and DNF, it's over there, I'm not gonna get it, you'll get a picture, is Insurgent by Veronica Roth. Believe last month I read Divergent, loved it, still gave it 5 stars. That was my 3rd time reading it. Amazing. I couldn't even get through Insurgent. Holy shit. So this was my first time listening to it and my 2nd time reading it ever. And I am not sure how I got through it the first time, but that book is not good. Not good. I wanted to reread the whole series and, you know, get through Allegiant and maybe cry again, but I can't even get through Insurgent. They were at Candor for 200 pages doing nothing. Like, I don't know how I got through it. It's not good. The only book I've ever liked by Veronica Roth is Divergent. It's still good, still holds up, but like anything else, it's a no from me. It's a no from me. The next book that I read was Later by Stephen King. This was another 3-star. This was so short, one of his like shorter ones, so it took me like 1 day to read it and it was just fine. Even the ending, just fine. I don't even think I wrote a review because I had nothing to say. All I would say was it was fine. So it was fine. Not my favorite. Not a good Stephen King month. Yeah. The next book that I DNF'd was Tell Me My Name by Amy Reed. Amy Reed wrote The Nowhere Girls, which was 5 stars, and I cried. This was a Great Gatsby retelling, which I don't like Great Gatsby. My bad. The issue wasn't the retelling. The issue was I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Also, all of the characters, every single one was unlikable. Like, why would I want to listen to your shit? Someone has to be likable for me to want to continue to read this. It does not have good reviews on Goodreads. Pretty much everyone is in agreement that everyone sucks. Like, it's not enjoyable to read about people who suck. So, unfortunately, I did not like this. Next book that I read and liked was True Crime Addict, How I Lost Myself in the Mysterious Disappearance of Mara Murray by James Renner. Really like this. I listened to it on audiobook. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. If, I'm not gonna get into it. But Mara Murray disappeared almost 20 years ago now, and I have been obsessed with this case for like 10 years. Quite interesting. There is a podcast called Missing Mara Murray. James Renner is on the podcast as well. He doesn't like host it, but he's been on it. James Renner has a blog about Mara Murray. It's just like a lot. I enjoy this mystery. She disappeared. I like it. This was a little bit different because it like chronicles him researching the missing persons case, and then like also what's happening in his private life while he's doing this. Like, dude literally goes to jail while he's investigating. So pretty cool. I liked it. I like true crime. I like the Mara Murray case. That makes me sound like an awful person, but like true crime, you know, just something about it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, the next book that I read was The Treasure Map of Boys. This is the third book in the Ruby Oliver series by E. Lockhart. I also gave this 5 stars. I liked it a little bit less than the second one, but I still liked it a lot that I gave it 5 stars. The ending was adorable and it made me want to get into the 4th and final book right away. So I am currently physically reading the last one. Love it. Highly recommend these. I wish they had them in print. If I can find them in print, I will buy them because they're just something I want to reread. Excellent. Okay, so now this started my October spooky season TBR. I don't really have like a month anyway. So this is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I listened to this on audiobook. I really liked it until the ending. I gave this 3 stars, which is good. It was 4 stars the whole time. And then the ending was so abrupt that I lowered it a whole star because I just did not like the ending. I felt like there was really no resolution and it was just so abrupt. Like I'm listening to it and then it goes into acknowledgements and I was like, what the fuck? So I gave it 3 stars because of the ending. What's with like, I could say the same thing for Riley Sager. He always gets like a star off because of his endings. Why do they do this with like horror and mystery and thriller? Just like do better. I don't know, I haven't written a book, but do better. See. Okay, the next book that I read and DNF'd was We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Haberlin. I actually saw this on display at Barnes & Noble and almost bought it, and glad I didn't because I DNF'd this 30% in. Just not the book for me. I was confused most of the time. It's an adult mystery thriller, but like nothing was thrilling. Also, there's this girl that they find and she's missing an eye, and they go into like this whole thing about like how her eye looks, and I almost died because I hate eyes. So listening to that wasn't a good time. That's it. The next book that I read was The Jasmine Project by Meredith Ireland. We're actually reading this next year, like in May, for a book club. But my library got all the audiobooks for the books that we're reading, and this just looked really cute, so I wanted to read it. I gave this 3 stars. My biggest gripe with this book was the family. So they like set her up on 3 like matchmaking dates behind her back, and it just feels like a consent issue for me, and I did not like that. I did not like the family dynamics in this one too. Like there's a ton of family and I just like did not like any of them. So unfortunately I only gave this 3 stars. This was our contemporary book pick for the year, and like, so I don't know, like it felt a little bit long. I did not love Jasmine and I hated the like family consent issue. So could have been better. I was a little bit disappointed. What can you do? And then the last book that I read for September, I finished yesterday, the last day of September, so good for me, was Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. I love this. This is a cozy mystery. I'm not sure if I've ever read a cozy mystery before, but it was great. We're like 3 murders. It was awesome, and then there was like great family dynamic, and then like I'm on a diet and all they talked about was food, and I was like, everything sounds so good. so good. So highly recommend. I gave this 4 stars. This was like, it was a big family again, like the Jasmine Project, but like this family dynamic was so different than the Jasmine Project. Like I like a good big happy family, but like the Jasmine Project family was not good. But in this book, Arsenic and Adobo, the family dynamic was very important and it was so good, like so good. So I highly recommend that one. I believe it's going to be a series. I already said when to read the next one on Goodreads. So, okay, so that's it. Those are all the books I read in September. That's a lot. Okay, thanks for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye!